Now let's talk about magic methods and practical task 1. For example, here we should use the add magic method to overload addition. For example, we have counter object plus string Mississippi, and we got the result in the list 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, and 3 Mississippi, and how it works actually. And here we have just simple explanation. For example, here we have a class GFG and initializer, value, and addition that will add two objects. For example, we have object 1 and object 2. Object 1 plus object 2 and get object 3 value, we got a gigs for gigs. And here another example, without addition, we got a error while adding object 1 to object 2 and supported operand types for GFG and GFG because there is no addition, magic method addition. Here is also the same. We have initializer self values that gets the list of integers, and magic method add that gets a string, and then iterate over the self values, our list of integers, by appending our new list, empty list, string, number as a string, and plus space plus string. Why we convert it to string? Because we cannot concatenate integer with strings. And just simply return the new list. Let's, for example, this one. We have a list of integers, we have a string. And here we have a result 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, and it's on the list. Practical task 5. Create a context manager temp directory. Use the context manager protocol. Methods enter and exit. When entering the context, a new temporary directory is created with random unique name. Use auth.make directory to create the directory. Until exiting this context, the new created directory becomes current one, and all actions are executed in the scope of this new directory. When exiting this context, the temporary directory is removed with all the files in it. Use rm3 from shutil to remove all directory. The new working directory becomes the same as before entering context. So in short, you should create a directory, and you should create a temporary directory and switch our current directory to temporary directory, and then while exiting this temporary directory, we should just remove this current temporary directory and switch to our original directory again. How we can implement this? Just to create a class temp dir and enter and messages enter and exit. That will with variables like self dot original directory, our original directory, get current directory, get current working directory, get cwd, and temporary directory that will be created with uuid for uniqueness. And then you should create make directory and self temporary directory and change our current directory to temporary directory. And on exit, you should just change current directory to original directory from temporary to original and remove everything from temporary directory. Let's test it. I will just comment out that my message should be written in this txt file just to be sure that it is working. Let's run this, and now we have directory with a unique name and test.txt file with hello world. Yes, it's working now. Let's remove this and uncomment this and run again. Now nothing is created because after writing we removed our temporary directory. Practical task 6. We are given the description: create a context manager CG which changes the current directory to pointed one. For example, use CG home. When entering the context, you need to save the previous directory, and when you exit, you need to restore it. During the context manager initialization, check that the passive directory is a directory and exists. If the passive directory is not directory or doesn't exist, write the value error. Use the following functions from the OS module: get current working directory, change directory, and pass is directory. We have a class CG with methods init, enter, exit, and initializer. We pass the new path and check here whether this is a directory or not. If this is not a directory or doesn't exist, you should write value error is not valid directory or doesn't exist. On enter, we should get the current working directory and assign to a new variable for original path. This will be our original path, and change new path on the initializer which were given in the beginning. On exit, you should change our directory to original one again. For example, let's see, and here is the result. On enter, we change it to new path, and on exit, we change it to original path, and this was our original path. Practical task 7, we should create a context manager, for example log file, that inherited from the context decorator, which adds text lines into the log file. Every text line must contain the following information: date and the time when started, execution time, and error information. For this is an example: start time, run, execution time, and error message. None or division by 0. The log file name is passed as an argument to text manager constructor. Here is example: log file or decorator and our file mytrace.log and function. The log file, and here is additional description: the log file has to be open in append mode to allow reopening existing file and adding new information into this file if the same name is pointed. When an exception is happened, the error message has to be put in error code into the log and rewrite it upper. Use open built-in function to open the log file. We should create a log file that inherited from the context decorator, so we can use as decorator and the further with methods init, enter, exit, and initializer. We should pass log file name, for example mytrace.log. While entering, you should start the time here, datetime.now. It will get the current time. While exiting, we should save the end time, datetime.now. It will also get the current time now, and execution time will be difference between end time and start time. And here is our error message, like execution value, if and check. And here we are checking the execution value exists of there is no error or no execution value, just none, there is no error. And here we have error message. And here we have a log message: start, self start time, run, execution time, and error with error message. Now we should open our log file as append and write the log message, and in the end we should rewrite the exception. For example, oh my gosh, we don't call it. And here we have a result: division by 0, division by 0. And also here we can check the log: start time, run, execution time, and an error accurate, division by 0. We can let's uncomment this, print hello world, and check there is no error. and here we can see it's appending, and an error occurred. None, there's no error. Practical task 4. Let me explain in short what we should do. We should create a class book with attributes price, author name, author and name. All of them should be immutable, but author and name should be immutable. We cannot change. We should implement class book with attributes price, author name. Author name fields have to be immutable. If user tries to change author or name fields after initialization or set the price out of range, the value error should be raised, and price field may be changed but has to be between 0 100. Implement descriptors, price control and name control to validate parameters. For example, book William Faulkner, author and name and price. While here we are setting the price, he got no error because price is not immutable, and while setting the author, we got a value error. Author cannot be changed, or name value error. Name cannot be changed, and on the prices, price cannot be negative, cannot be more than 100 inclusive. So first let's create a price controller to get the value and set the value. For setting the value, we should check if the price is more than 0 or less than, more than or equal to 0, and less than or equal to 100. If not, just raise the value error. Price must be between 0 and 100. And name controller with initializer name, and with get and set magic messages that will get the name and set the name. But in the setting, because name is immutable, we should check if it has an initialized instance. Like if name was initialized, it is true, it was initialized, we should value error. We should raise the value error. Name cannot be changed. And author controller is the same scenario. Author, and we should check if the author is initialized already. If this is true, we should raise the value error. Author cannot be changed. Now we should implement class book with variable author controller, name controller, and price controller. And here is our initialize author, name, price, and initialize it true or false. And initialize it is true because while calling the book for the first time, it should initialize and should protect to change name and author. Let's see book and print, and let's get some more examples here. Here we can see some errors. Value error, price must be between 0 and 100, and value error, price must be between 100 and 0. Let's comment this out. And here we can see another error. Author cannot be changed. Let's comment this. Name cannot be changed.